It's Mrs. Evil because I got a like before review. All right. Welcome to episode 146. Genius, take the wheel. Come to you guys a little bit earlier on a Saturday than I normally do because I basically just did my so-called easy sets and decided to just vacate. Ah, get hydrated a little bit. There's only water in here, so it's not true hydration, but it is what it is. Kratos is here. How you doing, Kratos? Did not see Kratos and JD stream yesterday. Very interesting stream. A little bit of housekeeping to start. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for supporting the platform. If you're watching this after I've gone off the air, thank you so much for being part of the replay gang. I know there are a few of you that are part of that. Kratos, I know that I owe you a collaboration. I might actually have the time to get in the lab with you today. So apologies. I kind of do avoid Discord because so many people message me on Discord. I just get overwhelmed and then just avoid Discord. And anyway, today's training again, low intensity, no pre-workout powder. Uh, 2 working sets of 6 at 225 on the leg press. You guys know I've been working at 455. The leg curl, I think I worked at 70 pounds, 80 pounds, something like that. I think it was 80. I think I did like 3 sets of 8. Working in Jefferson County again today where customers fear for their lives around black people. Oh, that's fun. I guess we can talk about that a little bit. Or something adjacent to that. Um, yeah, leg curl was pretty easy. I did 3 sets of 5 at 185 on the deadlift, keeping it easy. Not ramping up on anything at all. I think I did like 3 sets of 6 on the leg extension at 100 pounds. All super, super, super easy stuff. Physically, just haven't been in a great mental space, just overall in life. And trying to get out of it, trying to get out of this funk. Um, Today was my last leg day. Catherine, how you doing, Catherine? Um, Today is my last leg day on the deload, which means that I pretty much have to decide by Monday what my. I don't know why this guy is on my bumper. Like, it's really not that serious. It's early on a Saturday morning. Uh, this guy in an SUV just drove around a few small pieces of broken glass. I guess he doesn't know how tires work. That was weird. Anyway, um, I basically have to decide if I'm going to continue trying to build muscle aggressively right now or if I'm going to switch over to something that's more max strength. I'm just really not sure what to do just yet. I will say that I have been struggling to put more repetitions on my bench press and my lat pull down. So I'm thinking switching it up might be a good idea. I guess I can give that a try. I don't know. Just kind of thinking out loud, like these streams tend to be. But yeah, I haven't really been, too super motivated lately. Uh, just really not feeling that great. Maybe a change of approach for my program might breathe some life into me. I usually don't do very well when the summer starts to die, but I'm gonna try to add some life to these months and not just give in to uh, the bad feelings that usually comes with the end of August for me. Kratos says BO6 beta dropped yesterday. Your initial thoughts, Doc? Call of Duty is dead. It's over. Um, Fuck out of here. And we got these fucking mosquitoes, man. Fuck. Fucking shit, man. Fucking shit. And this is the time of the year where they start getting real desperate. Super annoying. I don't know where it went. So I don't want to close the roof and not give it a chance to get the fuck out of here. Shit. Anyway, Call of Duty is dead. I watched GG Reloaded play yesterday. I watched some of Drifter's footage. It's not even fun to watch. Like, as a viewer, it's not fun to watch. And that's the reality. Call of Duty is just not entertaining anymore. I don't get that pull. I don't get that. I don't get that. That feeling like, oh my god, I can't wait to go home and play it. Oh wow, I can't wait to buy this game. There's no, there's no such desire for me. Um, the uh, the It's dead. It's done. It's over. Um, the only positive thing that I can say about the game is that the visuals are top notch. Um, the music soundtrack is among the worst I've ever heard in a video game, which is just wow crazy to me. Like, I don't understand that. You don't want to know how well, YouTube doesn't want me to say. Shit, I'm looking to see if that fucking mosquito left the building so I can close this top, because I forgot that this is the time of the year where they start getting really desperate. And I just don't want to deal with bug bites. I have no desire to deal with bug bites. I've been pretty good this summer not getting bitten. Um, but yeah, Call of Duty is dead. I'm gonna watch my ankles in case I didn't see it go somewhere else. Ah, fucking hate mosquitoes. And in this part of the world, they don't serve any purpose whatsoever. Straight up parasitic invasive species. Anyway, um, yeah, Call of Duty is dead, and it's not even fun to watch. So I definitely don't want to play it. But yeah, I have some decisions to make about my training, and I don't really know where I want to go with it just yet. I have a better idea now after uh, firing up this stream and actually speaking it out into the air. Um, yeah. Um, yeah. A couple things I want to talk about. I was in JD's stream yesterday, and you know, I'm usually not able to be in the streams because I'm normally, doing things with family or having to go to sleep early because I have a client that I have to work with at 5 a.m. Twice a week. So there are things that I can't really do late at night, like watch a review of a wrestling product that is just boring, you know? And I warned people that WWE wrestling is going to follow the path of its champion, and its champion has the charisma of a bent license plate. So it's mostly boring. I mean, we got a little bit of that, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre stuff going on. That's a little bit entertaining. They're putting together a burgeoning war between the Bloodline 1.0 and the Bloodline 1.1. So they're doing that, and that's interesting, I guess. Please keep your head up when you're driving. I don't want to see your fucking eyes in your lap when you're driving. Come on, guy. So anyway, there is a fly in the car. I can see it in the in my background. Like, seriously, get the fuck out. You're not wanted here. Um, and I gotta find a way to get this fucking fly out of my car. I don't know what it is. Just go away. Um, but yeah, there was some interesting things spoken about in JD's stream, and one of them um, was about the migrants in New York City. And I'm very torn when it comes to this subject because I do think that the migrant issue here in the city is one that is concerning. But some of the rhetoric that I'm hearing, even from people that I like and respect, is it's a little disheartening. Um, and it really does go to show that the conservative and the liberal media, along with our politicians, have worked really hard to sow discord among the people. And I get the conservative, side of things at least a little bit. Like, I kind of understand it. Um, sorta, sorta. Um, but I don't. The rhetoric that I heard on the stream was vitriolic, and it was very disappointing. As a, I call JD is, I consider him to be a friend. Um, I do talk about this issue with Captain Paul sometimes. And even with Captain Paul, I have to let him know, like, a lot of what you're seeing on the news in reference to these migrants, it's propaganda. And no matter where you go, if you see anything about migrants, it's almost guaranteed to be propaganda in one way or another. Either they're gonna feed you this bleeding heart story, some of which are true, some of which aren't. But then also there's the vitriolic side of things, that I don't know if you guys ever saw this political cartoon. There's a political cartoon from the late 1800s. We're talking about the late 19th century. This cartoon is somewhere around 125 to 130 years old. And how the cartoon goes is a banker has a plate. There's a plate of 20 cookies, and a banker takes 19 of the cookies. And then he points to the one cookie that he left on the plate, and then says to the white man, watch out for that black guy. He's going to steal your cookie. While the banker makes off with 19 cookies. It is a famous or an infamous political cartoon, depending on where you stand. But when I look at people demonize migrants, um, and sometimes demonizing them with false information, it just feels like we're never ever going to get out of this loop of hatred. The conservatives showing hatred towards the migrants, the liberals showing hatred toward the conservatives because of their hatred towards the migrants. And I want to be very clear about the language that I use, because there is a difference between a migrant and an illegal. And I'm seeing that the terminology is being used interchangeably in a way to demonize them. And the way that I heard my good friend talking about them, characterizing them as murderers and thieves and rapists and stuff like that. It's really disappointing, because it's the same rhetoric that you hear from the the worst of our politicians. And it's like, do people even stop and verify that what Donald Trump is telling you is actually true? He is an admitted liar. Like, he's made no bones about the fact that he doesn't care. Lying is okay to him. Do you actually listen to the words that Abbott guy in Texas is actually using? Some of the illegal things that Ron DeSantis has done, as far as luring migrants from Texas to Florida, to make it seem like they're just pouring over the Florida border, as if Florida is not a panhandle surrounded by the Atlantic Ocean in the Gulf of Mexico. I'm seeing these outrageous stories. Oh, they're giving these migrants $20,000 a month, $5,000 a month. That's not true. Captain Paul is telling me about the hotels near where he lives being basically turned into migrant shelters. That's true. And I know that to be a fact. And, the hotel industry doesn't matter because they're getting government money, but, the hotel management, they don't really care. We just had the NYPD give an award to a couple of migrant men who stopped a violent knifing attack here in New York City. They put themselves on the line to protect somebody else. I haven't heard one conservative voice make mention of that. That's all over the news. And I don't have absolute numbers on this, but I have a very sneaking suspicion that the crime rate, as far as crimes committed by migrants, I have a sneaky suspicion that their crime rate is significantly lower than the overall U.S. citizenship rate of crime, violent crime. Most of the migrants that I see here are delivering DoorDash. The men and the women. The women have babies, on their back, delivering convenience orders. That's the vast majority. Our crime rate in New York City continues to keep going down. So to hear so much, hey, oh, they're just a bunch of murderers and essay artists, and they're all just committing crimes. That's just not it. On the flip side of that, there is a real concern when it comes to gangs trying to infiltrate the country and set up shop. I think that's a real concern. And the crazy thing is, like, when he cited his source, he's like, "Oh, I saw an article." It's like there's so much more going on than I saw an article. But I get it. He's a conservative that lives on Long Island, and the politicians on Long Island have been beating their constituents over the head with migrants, 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 migrants. And there really aren't any migrants on Long Island. It's all New York City. You know. So yeah, there are some real concerns with the migrants. Um, a lot of them wouldn't be here in New York City if they were not bussed illegally here from Texas and Florida. But I also understand why Governor Abbott is doing what he's doing because his state is the state that they're trying to that's their gateway into the United States. And the Texans' position is that I think the Texans' position is you get these liberal places like California and New York that want to talk about being sanctuary cities, but they don't actually have to deal with the the realities of people, you know, digging under security fences or things like that. They don't have to worry about people, just basically trying to swim in the Gulf of Mexico and pop up on the shores of Texas. They don't have to worry about, all of that stuff going down on in Texas. Like I get that. I get it. I get it. I get it. Um, and something does really need to be done about the migrant situation. But I also contend that if the United States was not actively destabilizing governments in Central and South America, among other places in the world, we would not have this migrant crisis. People would not be running from their own homes if the United States weren't creating political upheaval and destabilization through overt and covert means. We would not be going through this like we're going through this if the United States stayed out of the affairs of other sovereign nations. So part of the problem that we're having with these migrants is actually self-inflicted when we look at how our government and our covert operations departments, how they're conducting themselves around the world. So nothing is as black and white as people will have you believe. Nothing is as migrants bad, citizens good. It's not that simple. Liberals good, straight white man bad. No, incorrect, wrong. So I am disappointed. And the thing is, like, I don't know Jay to be a hateful person or anything like that. So it's got to be, somebody basically putting the battery in his back. These politicians they're not your friends. They don't care about you. And I want to make one more point before I get off this stream when it comes to this migrant stuff. And this also goes for what's going on in Ukraine. I want to make this really, really clear to people who are like seriously like anti whatever, anti, Ukraine, anti this and that and the third. I want to make this very, very, very clear. Um, a lot of people are complaining about tax dollars going to migrants and the war in Ukraine. And I think that that is a valid concern. However, I also make this very, very clear. If there was no migrant crisis and there was no incursion onto the sovereign territory of the Ukraine, our tax dollars would still be wasted. Our tax dollars would still not be used to improve the life of everyday Americans. I want to make sure that's very clear to those who are looking at migrants or Ukraine as scapegoats for why where our tax dollars going and blah blah. You need to understand that the government is going to use the tax dollars for their own special interests one way or another. And you guys kind of need to just kind of like understand that that's the way that the government is set up here in this country. If the migrant doesn't get a food voucher and a prepaid credit card, that money is still going to be wasted. It's just going to be wasted somewhere else in a manner that will not benefit you. A lot of people say, oh, no tuition reimbursement or tuition loan forgiveness. And everybody's like, no, no, we don't want that. And they took the money for the education debt forgiveness, and they gave it to the migrants. They gave it to Ukraine. And the thing is that it would not have cost that much money for um, it would not have cost as much money to do the tuition forgiveness program as much as it costs to give money to Ukraine and to house migrants. It would not have cost that money. Understand that. It would not have cost as much money. But that money still would not go to things that would benefit Americans and help this economy before it goes into a full-blown recession and everybody's Jenga tower falls down financially. There's so much that the government could be doing. There's so much that the government could be doing to take that money and use it to help everyday Americans across the country, conservatives and liberals alike. Yes. But they're never going to do it. There's too much political capital in making sure that the money goes to places that don't serve Americans, that only serve American politicians. I want to be very, very clear on that. It doesn't matter whether there's a conservative in the White House or Democrat. It doesn't matter. Liberal, conservative, Democrat, Republican, does not matter. They're never going to use our tax dollars to benefit anybody in this country. Deserving or undeserving. And you don't need to be okay with it, but that's our current reality right now, unless our government system changes, which I suspect they won't. So I just want people to kind of keep an even keel, see the nuance in a lot of these situations, because it is not black and white. I swear to you, it's not black and white. It's not. You know? Anyway, let me get out of here. I got to eat. Got a client to work with. I got some planning to do. As always, if you believe yourself to be a strong person, you are absolutely correct. Keep working hard. I'm out of here.